This place is not for you. I decide who stays here.
They poured red wine on her, in front of 200 people, in front of the cameras, in front of the investors, in front of the very people who had spent 6 months chasing her signature. They just didn't know it was her. The room went quiet for exactly 3 seconds. Then came the laughter. Marcus laughed first, then Stephanie. And the woman standing there, wine running down the front of her dress, didn't flinch. She didn't cry, didn't raise her voice, didn't even look surprised. She just looked at them both, the way someone looks at a problem they've already solved. Because in less than 2 hours, a $1.2 billion deal would be gone, careers would be over, and the name they never bothered to learn would be the only name anyone was saying. But we need to go back, because this didn't start with the wine. It started the moment she walked through the door. The Grand Meridian Ballroom, Chicago, a Tuesday night in November. The kind of event where everyone in the room has a net worth with too many zeros to say out loud. Chandeliers, open bar, string quartet playing in the corner. And underneath all of it, the quiet electricity of money about to move. Tonight was the night NovaCore Technologies would announce the biggest partnership in their 12-year history, $1.2 billion. A deal that would take them from a promising mid-sized tech firm to a name people said in the same breath as the giants. For 6 months, NovaCore's leadership had been in talks with Meridian Capital Group, the most exclusive private equity firm on the East Coast. Calls, negotiations, revisions, back and forth, back and forth. Every single communication had gone through one person on Meridian's side. A woman named Claire Henderson, Meridian's senior liaison, professional, precise, white. NovaCore's team had never asked to meet the actual owner. They assumed Claire was the decision maker. They assumed because of how she spoke, because of how she presented, because of who they expected to be sitting at the top. They were wrong. Her name was Aaliyah Carter, 38 years old, founder and sole owner of Meridian Capital Group. Built it from a $400,000 loan at 26 into a firm managing over $4 billion in assets. She didn't have a Wikipedia page she maintained. Didn't do press unless it served a purpose. Didn't need her name in rooms before she entered them. She dressed the way she wanted to dress. Not to prove anything, not to perform wealth, simply because she'd earned the right to wear whatever she chose. That night, she wore a deep burgundy gown, custom. The kind of cut and fabric that tells you, quietly, without a logo, that it cost more than most people's rent. She arrived alone. No entourage, no announcement, just Aaliyah. You. And that was already a problem for some people in that room. The first one was at the door. Security guard. He looked her up and down once. Then again, vendor entrance is on the side. Aaliyah didn't raise her voice, didn't perform offense. She simply opened her clutch and handed him the invitation. Gold embossed, her name printed clearly. Aaliyah Carter, honored guest. He read it twice, then stepped aside without another word. Inside, it continued. A waiter walked past her 3 times before taking her drink order. A woman near the bar looked her over and turned to her friend and whispered something. Her friend laughed. Aaliyah noticed all of it. She always did. She just didn't let it cost her anything. Not yet. Marcus Green was NovaCore's CEO. 45, sharp suit. The kind of confidence that comes from never being told no in a room that mattered. Stephanie Walsh was his head of partnerships. The one who had managed the 6 months of calls with Claire. The one who believed she understood exactly who Meridian Capital Group was. Stephanie saw Aaliyah first. And something shifted in her face. Not recognition. Not curiosity. Something closer to irritation. She leaned to Marcus. Who is she? Marcus glanced over. No idea. One of the plus ones, probably. What bothered Stephanie wasn't the dress. Well, it was the dress. But it was more than that. It was the way Aaliyah stood. Still. Unbothered. Taking up space. Like she had every right to it. That kind of stillness. On that kind of woman, in that kind of room, made Stephanie's skin crawl. She picked up her wine glass and walked over. "Excuse me." Aaliyah turned. Stephanie smiled, the kind that doesn't reach the eyes. This section is reserved. Reserved for who? Investors and guests of the firm. Aaliyah, I'm aware. That was it. 2 words. And Stephanie felt them like a door closing in her face. Marcus drifted over now. That easy smile of his. The one he used when he wanted to move someone along without a scene. "Can we help you find your seat?" Aaliyah looked at him. "I have a seat." The air changed. Not dramatically, just slightly. The way it does right before something irreversible happens. Stephanie's smile disappeared. She looked at Aaliyah's dress, then at Marcus. Then, back. Later, much later, people who were nearby would describe what happened next differently. Some said it was an accident. Some said Stephanie's hand moved too quickly. Some said there was no accident about it at all. What everyone agreed on was that the wine left the glass. Red, down the front of Aaliyah's gown. The people closest went silent. Then Marcus laughed, nervous, too loud. Stephanie said, "Oh, I'm so sorry." Her face said the opposite. And Aaliyah stood completely still. She didn't scream, didn't cry, didn't make a speech. She looked at Stephanie for exactly 4 seconds, then at Marcus. Then she turned and walked toward the exit. Someone near the bar whispered, "She just left?" A man near the entrance watched her go and felt something he couldn't name. Something like dread. Stephanie turned back to Marcus. Problem solved. Marcus raised his glass. Neither of them noticed the man in the corner pulling out his phone. Recording. They had no idea that the problem had not been solved. It had just begun. Rick. Outside the ballroom. November air. Aaliyah stood at the top of the steps. She didn't pace. Didn't call anyone to vent. She opened her phone. Found one contact. Claire. 3 rings. Aaliyah. Pull it. Silence on the line. All of it? All of it. Effective? Now. Ex-Diamond. She hung up, put her phone in her clutch, and stood there for one more moment, looking at nothing in particular. Then she walked to her car. Back inside, it started slowly, the way earthquakes do. A board member named David Chen stepped away from the bar, phone pressed to his ear. His face had changed. He found Marcus across the room. "We need to talk." Marcus. "David, it's a party. Whatever it is." Marcus. That tone stopped him. David pulled him aside. "I just got a call from our legal team." "What?" "Meridian Capital. They just filed a withdrawal notice." Marcus blinked. "That's not possible. The signing is tonight." Was tonight? Marcus stood very still. The music was still playing. Champagne was still being poured. 200 people still laughing. And $1.2 billion was gone. Stephanie found out about the withdrawal 6 minutes later. She found out about the video 2 minutes after that. Someone had uploaded it. Shaky, unedited. 38 seconds. The caption, "NovaCore CEO and exec pour wine on black woman at their own deal signing event." In the first hour, 40,000 views. Then 200,000. Reporters started calling NovaCore's PR line. Their social media notifications stopped loading. And none of them, not one, had made the connection yet. They thought this was a PR problem. A bad night. Something manageable. See, They had not yet asked who the woman in the video was. David Chen found out first. He had called Claire directly, trying to reach whoever was in charge. Claire picked up on the second ring. Claire, this is David Chen at NovaCore. We need to speak to someone at Meridian about... You need to speak to Ms. Carter. Who? Aaliyah Carter, the owner. David Chen went very quiet. I thought you were the... I'm the liaison, Mr. Chen. Ms. Carter has been the decision-maker on this deal from day one. He hung up, walked back across the ballroom, found Marcus and Stephanie still in the corner trying to manage the PR spiral. I need both of you to stop talking. They looked at him. The woman tonight. What about her? That was Aaliyah Carter. Silence. She owns Meridian Capital. Stephanie's glass slipped in her hand. Marcus said nothing, because there was nothing to say. Swans. Let's be clear about what happened. For 6 months, NovaCore had been courting Meridian Capital Group. Calls, proposals, revisions. Every single conversation had been with Claire, because Aaliyah preferred it that way. She had learned long ago that people negotiate differently when they don't know who they're actually talking to. Marcus and Stephanie had seen a black woman in an expensive dress at their event and decided she didn't belong. Not because of anything she said, not because of anything she did, because of what she looked like, and because she was dressed better than they expected her to be. They assumed she was pretending. They poured wine on the woman who owned the deal. And they laughed. By midnight, the video had 4 million views. By 2 a.m., 11 million. NovaCore was trending in 7 cities. 3 of their existing investors sent emails requesting emergency calls. Their stock, already volatile after hours, was projected to open down 18% in the morning. 2 board members called Marcus personally. Neither call was supportive. Taiwei. At 1:47 a.m., an email arrived in the NovaCore executive inbox. Sender: Meridian Capital Group, Legal Affairs. Subject: Formal withdrawal. All agreements void. Marcus read it once, then again. Then he put his phone face down on the table and didn't pick it up again for a long time. Then, in the weeks that followed, here is what happened. NovaCore's stock dropped 22% in the first week. 3 investors pulled out citing reputational concerns. Marcus Green resigned, quietly, 14 days after the event. Stephanie Walsh was terminated. The official statement said restructuring. Nobody believed it. The company spent 6 weeks trying to reach Aaliyah. Through lawyers. Through Claire. Through mutual contacts. She did not respond. Not once. Not because she was angry. Because she had already made her decision. Before she got in her car that night. There was nothing left to discuss. 3 weeks after the event, a journalist from a financial publication finally got Aaliyah on record. One question: do you have any regrets about pulling the deal? She thought about it. Not for long. No. The deal was worth $1.2 billion to them. To me, it was one of 12 active investments. I've been in rooms like that my entire career. I know what it looks like when someone decides I don't belong. I've learned not to argue with people about their assumptions. I just let them live with the consequences. The journalist asked one more question. Were you surprised by what they did? Aaliyah looked at her. Not even a little. Here's what Marcus and Stephanie never understood. Aaliyah wasn't in that room to prove anything. She wasn't there to be seen. She wasn't there to be validated. She was there to sign a deal. That's it. She was the eye. She was the eye. They turned it into something else. They made it about her presence, her dress, her skin, and in doing so, they handed her every reason she needed to walk out that door and never look back. You want to know what real power looks like? It's not loud. It doesn't need to defend itself. It doesn't need the last word. Real power is what Aaliyah Carter did that night. She said nothing. She made one phone call. And she let the silence do the rest. They poured wine on a woman they thought was nobody. She was the only somebody in the room.